A mountain escape. This morning, I wake up with a quiet sense of excitement. The sun is just rising, painting the sky in soft gold. I stretch slowly, make a simple breakfast, and begin to pack. Into my backpack, I place a jacket, a scarf, a small notebook, my favorite pen, a thermos of hot tea, and a little bag of dried fruit and nuts. There's no rush. I fold everything with care, enjoying the gentle rhythm of the morning. Today I'm heading to the mountains, not to a resort or a popular trail, but to a wooden cabin on a quiet hill where my grandmother used to live. It's been years since I visited, and lately I've been longing for the quiet, the scent of pine, and the sound of wind rustling through the trees. I leave the house and walk to the train station. The streets are still sleepy, and the world feels soft. At the station, I buy my ticket, find a seat by the window, and wait. When the train arrives, I board, settle in, and watch as the city begins to fall away behind me. The journey north feels like a dream. Skyscrapers turn into houses, houses into rice fields, and fields into forests. I sip my tea, listen to soft music, and let the train carry me through layers of green. Somewhere along the way, I stop checking the time. Hours pass. I step off the train at a tiny countryside station. There's no one around, just a small sign and a path leading into the woods. I tighten the straps on my backpack and begin walking. The air is cool and clean. Birds flutter across the trail. Every step I take feels lighter than the last. The trail is gentle, winding through tall trees and mossy stones. Sometimes sunlight filters through the branches. Sometimes there's just the quiet hum of the forest. I don't meet anyone. It's just me, my footsteps and the whisper of leaves. After a while, the trees open up, and there it is. Grandma's cabin. It's smaller than I remember, but still beautiful. Wooden walls, a little porch, and a narrow path that leads behind the house toward the hills. I smile, step onto the porch, and unlock the old door. It creaks the same way it used to. Inside, everything is simple. A wooden table, a kettle, a small bed near the window. I put down my backpack, take off my shoes, and sit in silence. There's no phone signal here, no noise, no expectations, only time and trees and air. Later in the afternoon, I walk to the waterfall behind the hill. It takes about 30 minutes of slow hiking, but the sound of water grows louder with every step. When I arrive, mist floats in the air, and the waterfall tumbles down the rocks like silver threads. I take off my shoes again and dip my feet into the stream. The water is icy cold and wakes something quiet inside me. I sit there for a long time, doing nothing, thinking nothing, just watching. On the way back, I find patches of wildflowers blooming along the trail, tiny, soft-colored petals swaying in the breeze. I pick a few, press them between the pages of my notebook, and keep walking. Farther up the trail, I see wild berries. I check them carefully and taste one. Sour, fresh, real. When evening falls, I return to the cabin. The sky turns golden again, then fades to blue. I cook a simple dinner over a small fire, eat slowly on the porch, and wrap myself in a soft blanket. In the distance, I can hear the faint roar of the waterfall. The stars begin to show. I don't check my messages. I don't think about tomorrow. Tonight, I just sit in the quiet and breathe. Whispers in the mist. I wake up before the sun. The cabin is still dark, but I can already feel the softness of the morning. I wrap myself in a blanket and open the door slowly. Cool air brushes against my skin, and outside the world is covered in a thick white mist. I step out onto the small wooden balcony. The mountains are hidden beneath layers of fog, and the trees look like gentle shadows. I sit down with a cup of warm tea in my hands, my knees tucked under the blanket, and simply watch the mist swirl in silence. No words, no sound, just the hush of the forest waking up. Time passes quietly. A little later, I hear footsteps on the gravel path. It's my grandmother, followed by my dad, both smiling as they come up the hill. Grandma is carrying a small basket, and Dad has a bag of groceries in one hand. We hug softly. No rush, no fuss. It feels like I've been away for months, even though it's only been a day. We go inside, place everything on the wooden table, and laugh gently about the fog, the cold, and how quiet the morning is. We decide to cook together. There's so much food. Vegetables, eggs, fresh herbs, rice, and even some homemade pickles Grandma brought. We move slowly around the small kitchen, sharing tasks without speaking much. The smell of garlic and fried eggs fills the room. The windows fog up from the steam. By late morning, the fog begins to lift. Sunlight streams in through the trees, touching the table and warming the wooden floor. We sit down together and enjoy a slow, happy meal. No rush. Just warm food, soft voices, and the feeling of being home. After we finish eating, I begin to pack my things. Dad helps me roll up my blanket and fold my jacket. I take one last look around the cabin. The quiet. The trees. The way the light dances through the windows. Grandma walks with us down to the trail. She decides to stay behind to wait for Grandpa, who went out early this morning to look for wild fruits in the forest. She waves at us gently, standing beside the house, her hands tucked inside her cardigan. The wind plays with her hair, and she smiles like she always does, soft and full of love. Dad and I walk slowly back to the station. The trees are brighter now, the mist almost gone. We don't talk much, but it's a peaceful kind of silence. Just the sound of footsteps and leaves and the memory of a calm morning. As we reach the train station, I look back once more. The mountain stands quiet behind us, still holding on to the last bit of mist. I carry it all with me. The fog, the food, the forest, and the warmth of home that I found again. The way home. The train ride home feels slower than before. Maybe it's because I'm carrying more with me now. Memories, quiet moments, and the soft scent of pine still clinging to my clothes. I sit by the window again. My dad sits across from me, quietly sipping coffee from a paper cup. We don't speak much, but his presence is comforting, like a warm coat on a breezy day. Outside, the trees rush past in gentle blurs. The mist has lifted and the skies are soft and blue. As the train moves through small towns and open fields, I find myself smiling for no reason. There's something sweet about going away and then coming home. At one point, Dad pulls out a bag of snacks from his backpack and places it between us. We share it wordlessly, just like we shared breakfast that morning. The crumbs fall on our laps. We brush them off, laugh softly, and return to watching the world roll by. When we arrive at the station near home, the sun is already low in the sky. The air is warmer here, familiar. We step off the train and the city greets us with a quiet hum. Cars in the distance, people walking, the smell of grilled food somewhere nearby. We walk together down the sidewalk. The road is lined with trees I've known since I was a child. Shadows stretch long on the pavement. Dad points out a bakery that's still open and asks if I want to grab something for Mom. I nod. We buy a small box of sweetbread and continue on. When we reach our house, the gate creaks open like always. The porch light is already on, glowing golden. And there she is, Mom, waiting by the doorway with the smile that wraps around you like a blanket. I run up the steps and hug her tightly. She smells like lavender and warmth. She holds my face, checks if I've eaten, if I'm tired, if I'm cold. All I can do is smile and shake my head. We all go inside together. The house feels the same. The same wooden shelves, the same cushions on the couch, the same soft music playing faintly from the kitchen. Mom sets the sweetbread on a plate, pours tea, and we sit around the table. It's not fancy. It's not grand. But it's home. As the evening deepens, we talk about the cabin, the fog, the food, and Grandma. Dad tells stories I've already heard before, but they sound sweeter now. Mom listens, smiling with her hands wrapped around her cup. The room feels full, even in silence. That night, in my own room, under my own blanket, I fall asleep easily. Outside, the city moves on. But in this small corner of the world, I have everything I need. Quiet, love, and a place that always waits for me.